All right, and you're live.
Great, thank you. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our New York State mandated Police Department Reform and Reinvention Forum. If everybody can join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please stand. Pledge allegiance to the flag
Flag.
of the United States of America and to the
and to the
republic
republic
for which it stands, one nation,
nation,
under God, indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty and
liberty,
justice for all.
justice for all.
Thank you very much, and welcome once again. For those of you that do not know me, I'm John Valentine. I'm a member and very proud member of the Nissequogue Police Department since 1980. I presently serve as the department's commanding officer and report directly to our mayor, Richard Smith, and serve at the pleasure of the village board. I'd like to introduce our panel of stakeholders from within our community that work with the police department and utilize our services routinely. We have our mayor, Richard Smith, Village of Nissequogue, Michelle Mahabir Singh, Esquire, and Lindsay Crocker, Esquire, Village Co-Counsel with the law firm Lamb and Barnowski. From the Knox School, we have Virginia Riccardi, and I would also like to congratulate her. She's become the new headmaster, head of school for the Knox. We also have from our fire department, Chief Chris Knott, Chief Thomas Lohman from the Town of Smithtown Department of Public Safety, Police Officer Daniel Fandry from the Nissequogue Police Department, and also from our benevolent. And finally, last but not least, we have Prosecutor Brendan Ahern from the Suffolk County District Attorney's Office. And I welcome our panel here this evening. The department was formulated in 1926 and has always practiced community policing long before it became a common term in law enforcement community as we know it today. Our village is geographically 3.6 miles and consists of some 570 homes and a population of 1,800 year-round residents. The village is also home to public beaches, marina, yacht club, golf course, farmland, and some of the most beautiful vistas in the state of New York. The purpose of today's forum is not only part of a state mandated requirement for police reform, but also to engage our community and stakeholders in a dialogue on how we may be able to reform the police department in a way that the community in which we serve will have more insight and access into the challenges that we face in the new world in which we live in today. The police department is an integral part of the community, providing positive, uniform presence 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, promoting the health and safety for our residents and guests. In 2000, for the purposes of continuity, we adopted the Suffolk County Police Department rules and procedures, and in doing so, provides us with the ability to stay lifetime in our ever-changing world. The department's leadership and personnel pride themselves in the ability to provide an open-minded interaction in fostering a community-based relationship with our residents and seasonal recreational visitors. All of our offices maintain rigorous in-service training and exceed by far the New York State Division of Criminal Justice Services minimum training requirements. Presently, we hire off-duty Suffolk police officers, which for obvious reasons maintains clear and concise continuity in applying the rules and procedures of the department. So before we open the forum to our guests, I'd like to lay out some ground rules. All speakers must be Village of Nissequogue residents. Please make sure via your Zoom that your ID matches that. And if it doesn't, please note it in the chat box so we can let you into the discussion. When requesting to speak, please go to the reaction button and raise your hand. If you're not a village resident and would like to comment, you may do so via email. And the way you would do that is Village of Nissequogue info. That's Village of Nissequogue info @gmail.com. And we'll give your comments the attention that they deserve. All speakers will be initially permitted to speak for 3 minutes. If at the conclusion of the forum there is more time remaining, we will ask anyone who would like to speak again. The closing of the meeting will be at 6 p.m. And we're all seeking the same goals here this evening. So please be courteous and respectful towards one another, and be mindful that this is a public forum and is being recorded. So is there anybody that would like to speak? Our tech people are manning that component of the meeting. So is anybody indicating that they would like to speak?
No, nobody at this time.
Okay. Well, I see Lorraine Bowman's on the call, and I had the privilege of having a discussion with her earlier this week, a new resident, and we welcome you to the village, Lorraine. I see Marie is on here also, longtime village resident. I don't know if you have anything to share with us, but we're here to listen tonight.
I still don't see anybody with their hands up. If you have any problems with that.
Well,
I'm not seeing the hands up, John, but maybe it's because I'm working off my phone right now.
Okay, so here's what I'll do, because we can circle back to this. What I'd like to do is lay out how this is going to work moving forward. So on or about February 19th, the draft plan will be formulated and complete and ready for public review. And if you maintain continuity with our website and the present way that we notify our residents with information, it will describe how you'll be able to look at that document. It'll be a public document available to everybody that wishes to review it. On February 25th, the village board will have a public hearing on this plan. And the public will once again, once it's presented to the board, an opportunity to comment on it. And that meeting will be specific to our plan. On March 16th, outside of any changes that the village board makes at the suggestion or recommendation or concerns of our residents, the village board will adopt this plan. And then from there are a bunch of different things that we have to do administratively to submit the plan to the state of New York. So what I'd like to do is I'll just give you a couple of other comments that I have moving forward. One of the things that we recognize as a police department in a village is that some of the methodology that we use in bringing forward information to our residents, happens to be, very old school, very face-to-face. So several things we already have put in motion to create a better benefit or a more interactive relationship with the residents utilizing modern technology. So we've already created an email address that our residents can email us questions or information or whatever, and we would routinely look at that. The other thing that we've discussed, and the mayor has signed on to doing this with me, is I think moving forward, it's going to be a regular, probably 2 times a year in the spring or in the fall. We're going to have a community Zoom meeting just like this, so that we could get into a routine and a regular interaction with our residents. And if it's nothing more than a new resident being told, look, you know, a couple times a year they have these meetings, you should sign up for them. If it's just a matter of us introducing ourselves to a new resident and welcoming them to the village, so be it. That's what we're going to do. In addition to that, we're also going to be utilizing, we're very fortunate that the town of Smithtown and the county of Suffolk provided the Red Alert programming, and we're going to be utilizing that in a more positive, assertive fashion. For example, this past month, we had a tremendous amount of work being done on River Road. So moving forward, you know, when a utility company, something as basic as, you know, road repairs or utility repairs, if we know that's going to happen, we want to be able to push that out to our residents so they can see that live time. And once again, because of the county and the town, our partnerships with our associated agencies, that is something that we can utilize in a more regular fashion. We were also established a Facebook account. It'll be a message only account, but some people like to use Facebook. So those messages will come in. It won't be a public interactive site. But if somebody wanted to utilize that platform, they'll be able to message us, and then we'll be able to respond to that. And just so you know, I mean, I think everybody on this call knows this. That doesn't mean we're going to give up the personal phone calls, because I still encourage our offices and myself, you know, day to day call our residents back. So I think that's a very important thing to continue to do, to ask them if they want to meet personally. But at least this will give residents another venue, another group of platforms that would be more modern and conducive to this busy world in which we live in today. So that being said, if there aren't any other questions, what I would like to do is recognize our mayor, Richard Smith, and I know that he has a couple of things that he'd like to share with us. Mayor? Mayor, you're on mute.
How's that, John? Can you hear me?
I sure can, Mayor.
Great, thank you. Thank you, John, and thank you for organizing the public forum this evening. I have a few comments that I had prepared ahead of time, but before I start, I just want to share with everyone, in all my years of service with the village, there's a consistency, and it doesn't matter if I'm talking to a longtime resident or a couple that have recently moved in. But one of the most consistent positive aspects that fellow residents of Nissequogue always comment upon is our police department and how embracing and encompassing they are in welcoming them to the community and serving them and all. And I think it's something that we should all be very, very proud of. Over the years, under John's leadership, I think I'm sorry, I have a call coming in. Just a minute, please. I'm sorry. As I was saying, our residents, whether brand new or have been here for many, many years, really take pride in our police department, and I certainly share in that. So I think in conclusion, John, I just want to say great thanks to you, to our team of village attorneys at Lamb and Bernowski, the members of our panel, and all our village residents who have been able to join the forum this evening. This has been a long and a very robust review and planning process to implement the New York State mandated police reform initiative here. As John laid out, we have a very definitive timeline to remain in compliance with the state guidelines on this. But I just want to acknowledge the great job that the team has done, tremendous number of hours and thought and effort went into this. So thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Would anybody else on the panel like to say anything or share anything with us? Okay. Then I see a hand up. I don't know.
Chief,
what that is.
you have Chief not raising his hand.
Okay, go ahead, Chief.
I was just going to mention, John, when you and I had spoken earlier, there was some pretty good statistics that you had that were worth mentioning. I thought maybe this isn't the time for that, but
Okay, well, I think what you're referring to is because of some other New York State mandates, we had an obligation to go through disciplinary situations with our officers. So I took the liberty of going back. I went back 20 years and I went back 30 years and went back to pretty much the beginning of time here. And during that time frame, we've only had a half a dozen of complaints, none of which were use of force complaints, bias, or anything for that matter. They were pretty much just a resident or a visitor in the village that had a different opinion on how a vehicle and traffic stop should have played out, or maybe the way an officer represented himself or presented himself to that individual. So I thought that was a pretty interesting number, and we do, just so everybody understands this, when we do receive a complaint of any kind, it is documented, it is investigated, and if it should reach the level of a violation, that would be immediately referred to the Suffolk County District Attorney's Office, who is another partner and associated agency that we deal with regularly, and we're fortunate to have the team that we have in the district attorney's office available to us, and we're grateful for that.
thank you, John.
Thank you, Chief. Anyone else? If not, we'll close the meeting, and we look forward to furthering these discussions. And if anybody wants to reach out to me, they may do so.
We do have one hand up. Maria's got her hand up right now. Actually, we got two hands up now. So we got
Okay.
Lorraine and Maria. So Maria, I saw first, so I guess you can go first.
And unmute. Okay.
Hi, Maria.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
I was looking at, actually, I was listening to what you were saying about the red alert. Is that something that would be similar to what public safety does now? They're on the website and I think on Twitter. And
Yes.
that's very useful.
Yes.
Especially on Twitter, where I get alerts and, hey, there's this happening here or there's that happening here. Plus also a lot of town news comes out through public safety, even if it's not traffic related. So would what you're planning be similar to that for the village?
We presently utilize that. I just don't think we utilize it enough. So we're going to be more mindful of that moving forward and work with the town. Thomas Ullman, the Chief of Public Safety, is on as a panel member because of the close relationship we have with them. But in addition to that, their beaches are a big part of our village. So, you know, I'll give you an example. Short Beach tends to close every Sunday in the month of July. We rotate that parking lot out maybe twice in a day. So rather than assume that everybody knows that they could go down there and have that issue with it being closed because it's at capacity, we're going to start pushing that information out that it is closed and you may want to try Long Beach. There are plenty of spaces available. So even for something simple like that, or, you know, as grand as maybe an unfortunate accident or motor vehicle crash that occurs in the evening, and just routing people away from that so the police and fire department can do what they need to do to make that scene safe. Okay. And is there a way to reach out, like on Twitter, somebody could just tweet at public safety, but I know
just last week, a couple of weeks ago, there was a big dead deer right in the middle of the road on Mauritius, so that's something we can contact quickly that way, like when we're still in the car, or best off to call, I don't know, 911 or the
Well,
police
here's the thing,
department
in Suffolk
directly.
County,
Uh-huh,
there is no 311 system or 611. We don't have any of that.
right.
It's at minimal the administrative end of that. So 911 happens to be our primary means of contact. But to
Okay,
be honest with you, Marie, I'd love to have a conversation with you about that
Yeah.
more in depth. We're open to suggestions. We're a small department, but we have a high level of talent within the department. And our technical people that work with the department is second to none. So if it's something doable and it's something that is not manpower intense,
mhm.
then we're open to that suggestion. And I look forward to having a discussion with you about that.
That'd be great, thank you.
Thank you. Lorraine?
Hi, everyone. I just wanted to take a moment to ask a few questions. I just moved to the area, so forgive me if all of this has been addressed. I say just, it's been about a year, but we've spent most of that time indoors and not getting to know our neighbors. So I apologize if, like I said, I'm not sure if this is part of your jurisdiction or has been addressed already, but I believe you mentioned that in the summer, this past summer, the governor said that every department needs to, take a look internally and make reforms. Having 6 incidences in, what was it, 50 years is
50 years.
is remarkable. As the daughter and niece and cousin of police officers, that's everybody's, I guess, dream. But was that even something that could have been expressed to the governor, that Nissequogue is doing a lot right before we had to go into this investigation, which I'm assuming has cost residents some money?
Well, to your point, Lorraine, this has been, an arduous task and
Mhm.
for us. It definitely was a mandate that we received quickly
Mhm.
with little to no warning about it. And to your point, once again, whether you're a small department or a large department, we all have to go through those very same hoops
Mhm.
to come up with that desirable work product that the state wants. So it wasn't something that was negotiable. And unfortunately, we did have to go through this. We were aggressive in doing it and moved quickly through it. But you bring up a good point. But unfortunately, that's not the way it works. And we
Mhm.
to go through these motions. We have to go through these procedures and protocols, and then come up with a plan, and then present that to the state. And we're being told that there'll be some internal auditing or to assure that what we've provided for them is accurate and in the detail that they want to see it in. So yes, we're proud of that. We're proud of a lot of things. Like I said in the beginning, really, truly, community policing. When that term first came back and it came out in the mid to late 80s, I remember smiling and saying, well, that's what we've always been about, is community policing. People talk about transparency and accessibility, but the key to it is approachability. And, we encourage our officers to be approachable. And, it's interesting, but to go back to Chief Knott, one of the things I explained to him is, I could very easily say, well, we handle 1,500 interactions a year that are documented. My guess is we probably interact with the public 3 and 4 times that amount. I could walk out to my car in the parking lot and meet 3 different families or 3 different residents with 3 different issues. And that being said, you know, some of them may just stop by to say hello, and that's very common around here, that the residents just stop by to say hello. So there's a lot of things that are unique to our community, but unfortunately, all the departments were hit with the same broad paint stroke that the governor and the state put forward to us.
Okay. Thank you for that. And then I know that we said only, 3 minutes, so I just have 2 quick questions. I'll give them to you together. So who created the plan, and will residents have a say after hearing it on the 19th?
Okay, the plan is not complete at this time. This is one of the components of the plan. So we have to apply. When I say we, I mean the sitting panel, and we will convene separately and review that plan before it's presented to the village board. And when it is, you'll be notified. In fact, I'll give you a personal phone call telling you that it is ready, but it will be on our website, and it will be there and available for the public to review it. And then afterwards, you'll be able to comment at the following village board meeting, which would be on February 25th, which we've set up specifically for that component of our responsibilities.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Well, once again, I thank you very much, all of you, for attending. I appreciate it, and I look forward to working with everybody, moving this forward, but more importantly, working together for the common good of the village. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
John.
you all for attending. Thank you.